But I still think one of the problems that I'm seeing here for ONIC Philippines is dealing once again, finding the angle to initiate, right?
Yeah.
Or finding the angle to actually initiate these fights. If they have the counterpunch like they did in the previous game, that's great. But with the zoning potential, you have a farce to deal with. You have the penalty zone to watch out
Yeah.
for. And of course the range that Brody brings as well. So not to mention mobility. So I feel like their work is cut out for them in this game 3.
I just want to point out also that 3 of the 5 heroes used in game number 1 is picked up again for game number 3, namely the Terizla, the Farsa, as well as that Mathilda. So definitely we want to be able to see more of that combination with that Feathered Airstrike as well as that penalty zone to counter out Ryzen's Fanny.
Okay, so both junglers right now might meet up at around the top half of the map unless they change their rotation. From the top half, they might go to the mid and then first exit out into the gold, as they're actually not going to be contesting for the Litho Wanderer here, the 2 junglers.
Super Prince.
And it was Super Prince who got the last hit on it for ONIC.
Yeah, a relatively quiet game, but that's what you would expect coming from both of our junglers. This is a Fred Grin who needs to be able to at least get into a level 4 as well as that Fanny. But because of the tanky and sustainable side lanes that we have, specifically in that XP lane, we're not going to be seeing any action just yet until like that.
Escalator going to go for it again. Still looking for the first blood here. They've got the Fanny and Ryzen will get it. Edward able to survive, but that's exactly what ONIC Philippines wants to happen when you draft a Fanny here.
And that's a great start for it. And now ONIC, can they build onto that? It's not snowballable just yet. But we just addable a lot ever since Echo started saying endable.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not snowballable just yet. Maybe after 2 or 3 more kills, it might be.
Yeah.
But that was a good start.
And this is what we have been mentioning just a while ago.
This is starting to be, we're at what, maybe 2 of the letters now. A bowl.
Yeah.
Of a bowl. We got the A-B right now.
Snowballable.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Right? He's got 2 kills now
What
in
did I say?
the hands of Ryzen. And you don't want a Fanny when you have these early kills. This early on,
Yeah.
again, it's only 2 minutes. He's got 2 kills. It sets yourself up for success. And so now, with that lead that they've garnered themselves to, Blacklistinternational International needs to be able to respond.
Yeah, and with a 1.4k gold lead and with the first turtle being up, we have been seeing still the aggression coming from Escalera in this Edith. If we want to go back to that first skirmish in the top lane, he didn't hesitate in terms of casting that Earth Shatter as well as that Flicker combo. So definitely something to watch out for Blacklist International, because the first turtle is up. Nice too.
Right now, I don't think they're going to contest this.
Yeah.
Sensui still working on the orange. Ryzen will just go ahead and secure that. Blacklist International was there just for the vision. Now Sensui gets that orange buff. So again, it's safer for them to just give up the first one, honestly. Despite even the lineup that they have, they don't want to continue that snowball to build up for Ryzen.
Yeah, but Ryzen's hunting them down. He wants it. It doesn't snow in the Philippines, but I want that snowball. That's the right call to make. You're a Fanny. You're paired up with a Bruno. You want to be able to scale up quickly.
Yeah.
And don't give Blacklist any inch of room to maneuver and then keep the games close. How ONIC will convert into that eventually. I just want to say I'm always a big fan of the Uranus pickups, especially up against the Teresa. One of my favorite matchups to play as a Uranus in the EXP lane. Just constantly messing up the Teresa. Teresa thinks, why am I stuck in lane? Why doesn't he want to leave? And again, that's the strength of the Uranus. He's a split pushing hero, even though he's not built for that traditionally, but he is.
Yeah, and because of the sustainability as well as the healing coming from that Uranus, we will just be seeing them clear lanes. But so far, because of this not split pushing rather, but because of Cram cutting the lanes, he's able to speed up fast in terms of the team fight right now.
Look at him, he's just smacking on that turret. Well, Edward's there trying to desperately clear the minion wave. As we look at the item, Heptasis already for the Bruno, of course. Both of them went for the pants, actually.
Yes.
Hasclaws on the way right now for nets.
Yeah. So now, we haven't been seeing any action 4 minutes in, but this is a 2-0 and ONIC Philippines is still leading with 2k gold lead. 12 seconds before the next turtle comes up, but it seems as if Sensui is in a better position now compared to the first turtle.
Yeah, I think now that the second one is going to come up here, you actually see them all just fight out for it. You can see that both gold laners still going to wait on. Still, Cram though. Here's Ryzen as well. Going to try to fight and force something from Blacklist International. Renegade going to go ahead and use that Circling Eagle. They respond. Still going to be fighting for it though. Ryzen now clearing that mid lane, putting the pressure there where they can. Again, he doesn't really have to be the one to start this up, focus this down, and that's kind of what you're seeing. Sensui will hold that turtle there. Ryzen gets in position.
No!
Comes through as well. Sensui able to secure the turtle. The feathered airstrike going to come down. Edward gets out. Escalera in trouble. Sensui gets a kill as well. Puts Blacklist International on the board.
Did you see the timing of Edward and Sensui? That was picture perfect.
Yeah.
No way, of course, that Ryzen rather would be able to get the retribution off. He was pinned down by that ultimate of the Terizla.
Oh, can they go in under the turret?
Oh, wow.
Goes in, puts the pressure there, and caps it off with the turret.
And again, we are going back to the intention of the side of the Sonics to just allow Nets to live comfortably in his lane. They want to be able to drown Oheb out just so that Blacklist International wouldn't have a primary damage dealer early on in the game.
Yeah, ONIC, a great call. They lost that turtle. It was a resounding win for the agents, but the fact that they said, let's find something else. Hey, look at the lane. Nets is winning. All right, let's win that lane. Get the Brody down. Get the Bruno out. That was a great call there by ONIC to counter it. And now it's a little bit more even. ONIC does have that lead, but the room that Blacklist has on the map right now, because of what happened now in the rotations, now they can do this. They can go to the bottom lane and then break this tower unless ONIC go for a full respawn, which it looks like they might try.
Escalera again, gonna get spotted out there. Feathered airstrike gonna come waning down to the bottom lane. Renegade flying around, gonna go ahead and go for it. Turret's gonna fall here. Nets can't escape that one as he falls, and another target gonna be there. It's Escalera. Ryzen comes through. Can he get a kill off of it? He can't get the cable off. Now he could be in trouble. He's going to get stopped there, gets knocked up. Ryzen pays the price as he falls in the bottom lane.
Oh, he missed the cable and an uncharacteristic overstay by Nets. I really thought that they'd give it up. They held on too much for that single turret. That was not worth it. They didn't lose just one. They lost two heroes, and now a considerable amount of progress has been done on the second turret in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and with that, Blacklist International will be able to take this third turtle uncontested because as we saw, Ryzen fell down because he ran out of energy and he wasn't able to burst down the enemies. But Feathered Airstrike has been casted, but it looks like the teams are just gonna back out.
Look how punishing that is. This is Filipino MLBB right here. You overstay for one objective that isn't gonna be worth it. You take one trade that isn't worth it, and look at how quickly you lose control of the map. And Ryzen might lose his purple.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough. Penalty zone gonna come through. He just gets out of there. Escalera though, quite low. Wow. Again, like you said, Renmar. You know, you have this lead, you have this snowball forming, and then all of a sudden, in a snap of the finger, it just completely stops.
So from being snowballable, it's just snow.
Just right now. It just might be, it has fizzled out. Your snowball has fizzled out at this point.
What happens to a fizzled out snowball?
It melts. It turns into water, gas, something about science, liquid, solid. I was never good at things. It's same. That's why I cast Blacklist International. Now they can just continue this momentum here. As long as they keep taking the condition of the constant invades and the purple buff, it will make ONIC struggle.
Yeah, and with that, Blacklist evens out the game against Sonics. The 2K gold lead has now dissipated, and so far, we have been seeing Blacklist take on a much more aggressive form because they know Renegade will take them out at any point in time.
Man, so quickly, too. Again, how things change here. Even Cram, we know how Uranus works. We talked about him in the early part of the game, but even that's getting a little scary, right? The fact that on this tanky hero who's known for just being a punching bag, really, takes quite a bit of damage, forcing out that ultimate already.
Yeah, okay, so because of the game that ONIC has had, the Blacklist lead is just a little bit bigger, but yeah, another purple invade by Black.
They're going to go for it, put the pressure down once again on Ryzen. Can he get this one? Feathered airstrike there, also being copied and used from Super Friends. Oh! Torn apart memory, going to find Nets. So down a gold laner for ONIC Philippines. It looks like Blacklist International wants to go for the Lord here. Ryzen going to put some pressure on the top side.
Wow, Oheb. The torn apart memory. It's like he walked just a few pixels forward. It's like, if I could just get this off, put him in range, he will be going down, and he did. Oheb didn't even need to commit flicker there because with the gold laner down, Blacklist gets a free Lord, the first one of the game.
And with that, Renegade still taking on that aggressive form. He brought Edward with his guiding wind, but meanwhile, Ryzen still on the top, trying to push and give his team much space, considering that we are now having the first Lord in favor of the side of Blacklist International, and on top of that, a comfortable 1.6k gold lead for there.
Anticuras already built up there by Escalera. So that item is going to help them out in terms of reducing the physical damage that the Brody can dish out. But yeah, at this point, both marksmen are in very comfortable positions, even more so Oheb after what happened in that last sequence, already up to a roar.
Now in the mid lane, putting the pressure here once again. All they want is this turret. If they can get a kill out of it, they're happy. But Blacklist International gets the tier 2 in the mid. Next, the bottom, as they march in with this Lord now. Ryzen goes and gets the purple. Still, the rest of the team going to fight it out here, pushing them back. Blacklist International still has to respect the damage coming through from ONIC Philippines.
Yeah.
Ryzen gets his buff finally. Is he going to cut them off? He might look for his own here.
Ryzen, is he going to try something?
Multiple members there. Renegade still should be able to get out just fine, as he does.
Well, he is the all-star EXP laner for this season.
Yes.
Is Edward. A great initiation, but yeah, you see there the damage output of ONIC, especially with Super Friends being able to dash and Shadow Strike easily. Nets as well. Was able to get some hits in Escalera, so the damage is there for ONIC. And now at this point, it's more similar to what we've seen all throughout the regular season MPL Philippines.
Yeah.
It's now about being very disciplined. Being very fundamental. ONIC are in this position right now because they were uncharacteristically undisciplined with staying too long just to defend one turret, and then it was turned around. But Blacklist, if they're not careful here, and they're a bit too over-aggressive with their dive and their attempt to try and end the game, ONIC has the capability at this point to counter-punish.
Oh,
and
penalty
considering
zone.
that
Nets
will fall down, but it's not yet done.
Wow. You were just talking about this earlier. You know, the fact that Edward, he always finds those moments, even when you're not expecting it, and that is I feel like even a nail in the coffin for Nets so far. He's had a tough game.
Yeah. And standing at the 0-3 right now, Nets really isn't able to breathe comfortably in this specific matchup. 2.3k gold lead for the side of Blacklist International. A relatively low scoring game still, but the second Lord will be up in a while, 7 seconds before it comes out. But Nets will be alive, so it's going to be a 5v5 for this second Lord of the match.
At this point, they now just need to sharpen up their approach and when it comes to the skirmish and the team fighting. Like this.
Escalera doing what he did before. Not going to be able to get Edward just yet. He still lives through it. And it's Escalera that pays the price this time. Now Nets on the run again. He's caught out by Yue. 2 down for ONIC Philippines, and that means a Lord for the taking here. Ryzen buffless. It's a huge risk if he goes on something. Oheb going to go in quite aggressive himself, using that flicker. Just wants Ryzen out of this Lord pit.
A disconnect. They look disconnected right now, ONIC, in terms of their fighting. Yeah, they started that off trying to take down Edward, but at this point, with the slight lead that Blacklist had, it would have been way too risky. You already had vision, a little bit of vision, I guess, on where the Farsa or idea of where the Farsa is, but then with everything that you use for the engagements, ONIC had nothing to use to protect their Bruno, who is now 0-4-1. Earlier, we were talking about how ONIC, they started this off with the idea of, okay, let's protect Nets, and after that, it's like they've lost track. After losing control, they haven't been able to gather themselves.
Yes, and while we want to take note of that also, for the side of Blacklist International, they're just capitalizing on these mini mistakes coming from the side of ONIC Philippines. Even now, Feathered Airstrike has been casted, but the second Lord will be up.
You're going to have to deal with it as they do. But now, holding on to one turret. Blacklist International has to wait for these minions, but again, you can see the struggle here, too. I mean, even Ryzen, the fact that he has to go and take Blacklist International's purple buff, swing around or go back to base, and then be there for the fight. That's tough to deal with here.
Yeah, started to Spider-Man at this point.
Oh, this is, again, trouble. Ryzen. Not a part of this fight just yet. Goes back to base, but with that, as soon as you get back, the base is fully exposed now.
Yeah, and Edward survives. See Ryzen there rushing onto the mid lane to just try to clear minion waves, and at this point, this is what ONIC can do. As we look at the items right now, up to an immortality already. Is the Brody of Oheb, Wind of Nature, BOD. He picked that up ages ago. There's only 3 damage items right now for Ness. I believe he's still trying to chase that Wind of Nature. So in terms of the damage department, yeah, he just turned level 15. This Bruno is still really catching up.
Yeah.
ONIC, again, they have to be careful in their approach. If they see that there is they can't go ahead and burst him down right away, because then you still have to deal with the Farsa, the re-engage of the Matilda, and then the Brody as well.
Yeah, and I just want to bring it up, Renmar. A while ago in game number 2, we saw how powerful the Matilda as well as the Edith combo can be.
Yeah.
And in this specific matchup, we are seeing what Blacklist's version of that is, and that's Edward with the penalty zone. And when he gets too engrossed in the fight, Renegade takes him out, and with the Flask of the Oasis combo, he gets out scot-free and alive.
Yeah, in the Philippines, they have a lot of opportunities of making what we call asim plays.
Yes.
The sour moments where it's like, yo, what are you doing? You're a bit way too deep. And then it's like, no, we have a Matilda. He's completely fine.
Yes.
The Asim place.
Yeah. I like how you say it.
Yeah,
Asim?
say it again.
Asim.
Asim.
Say it again.
Asim.
What's your favorite
nice.
Asim food?
Is Sinigang Asim?
Yes.
Welcome to the English stream, folks. I thought we'd get through the first day without food references, and here we are. Every week. At this point, I believe our streak has gone on since season 8.
I just want to say I brought it up because he mentioned that a while ago. But it seems as if he didn't know what Asim meant, but Ryzen has been spotted right there.
Oh, the pressure in the base too.
Yeah.
They're going to have to deal with that. This is where it gets hard to juggle these responsibilities around. How do you deal with this? And also, Ryzen once again.
Yeah.
You know, because honestly, Blacklist International could just play the slow game if they want to, forcing ONIC Philippines to respond.
Yeah.
Again, go back to the history of our game. When there is a Bruno on one side, you love picking up a Bruno, Brody, anyone like that. You pick up the Farsa. Marksmen hate Farsa. And right now, US playing it to perfection right now in terms of pressuring nets.
Yeah. And standing comfortably at the 2-0-2 KD8, the Lord is about to get bursted down. But Blacklist's minion wave into the top lane is so wonderful. It seems as if ONIC would want to respond to it in one way or another. Escalera with a concealed play, but he's going to get stuck in that penalty zone.
The penalty zone going to come through once again. Cram, immortality going to be popped. Oheb has to flicker defensively. Escalera to fall. And once again, Blacklist International fighting for the space to work around with. They're going to try to catch Ryzen. Ryzen gets Oheb gets the kill, and it's all falling apart from there. Blacklist International won't even worry about the Lord. They know 3 down for ONIC Philippines. They march in with the minion waves. This will take them to match point. UA with some finesse can't get the kill, but they'll get the crystal as they take this next game, and they head to match point.
This winning moment is brought to you by our official sponsor, FWD Life Insurance.
Classic thing when you're going up against Blacklist. You cannot give them an inch of opportunity.